Hi, hola, welcome, bienvenidos to another one of our conversations, our seen and heards about what's going on at Hartford Stage. I am joined tonight by three brilliant women. I'm thrilled to introduce them to you. This is the team behind Espejos Clean by Christine Quintana. Melissa Crespo, our director. Emma Ramos, and Kate Abbruzzese. See, if I pretend I'm Italian, I kind of get it a little bit.
It does help if you do the little hand thing.
A little bit. You got to be a little.
Abbruzzese.
Abbruzzese. Ah, pues eso. And then I sound like a drunk Spaniard, but not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
Thrilled to welcome you. And I just want to share with this audience a little bit about why we're producing this extraordinary new play. And when I first read this script, I knew it was right for Hartford Stage. It really fits into our commitment to this region and to creating more and more multicultural and bilingual opportunities. It's a play told entirely through two languages, right? And it's the languages really of our city and of this region. The format is so exciting because and we'll hear more about that. Melissa, nos ayudas con eso. You'll help me sort of explain how we actually weave this. I need to say up front, you do not need to speak both languages to understand this play. That's part of the genius and beauty of the construction. And it really is part of, if you think of the productions since 2019, there was that little gap. What was that happened in March 2020? I forget. I wish I forgot. But we did Quijote Nuevo by Octavio Solis in the fall of 2019. And then we did Kiss My Aztec by John Leguizamo last season. And this is really part of this whole bringing in of more and more multicultural and particularly bilingual of Latina languages and Latina cultures onto our stage. So it's also a play that offers incredible roles, right? These are really star turns for both these amazing actors. And it gives us a genuine opportunity to explore how people connect and how we misconnect and the assumptions we make about each other at all times. Yeah, is that a reasonable intro, you three? You can all jump in at any time. But I also want to do a plug for the amazing design that is going to be a part of this production. You're not going to want to miss this experience. But enough of me going on about it. Melissa, tell me, how does it feel to be working in Spanish and English? And how do you think the play comes across through these languages?
Well, thank you for
having any part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, not only on the Zoom, but in your theater and producing this beautiful play. And I
should say, I have to add one thing. This is a co-production with Syracuse Stage, where Melissa is the associate artistic director. So it's our first collaboration with Syracuse, I think. And I'm just thrilled that when you were appointed, we could right away find a way to play together. So just to add that in, very grateful for this collaboration. But
likewise, we're very grateful too. Yeah. So to start, I'm born and raised in Connecticut. So and my family, my dad came to this country from the Dominican Republic, and then my mom is born and raised in Stanford, but her parents are respectively from Chile and from Puerto Rico. And so
you are the Latino diaspora there.
Yeah, like Latin America incarnate, una mezcla de todo, but also nothing at all. So, and the act of translation, the act of being understood and misunderstood has been part of my life for my whole life. And the minute I was given this script which was because of Theater Aspen, their Solo Flights Festival that they actually just did for the first time in 2021. They had chosen this play to do part of that festival, and they contacted me, and I was immediately blown away by the script, because when you look at the script, you have the whole script in Spanish on one side and the entire script on English in one side. And I've never seen anything like that, actually. I mean, I love opera. I'm used to reading supertitles. I love foreign films. You know, it's something that is not foreign to me in the theater, but in a play specifically, without music. But also, my personal preference of theater is one that is not literal, that is highly theatrical, and this play is all of that and then some. It's what I call an impossible play, where there are thousands of locations and we're going in and out of time, and there's magic and there's fantasy, there's horror, there's comedy. I mean, there's literally something for everyone. There's water, there's a storm, and it's impossible to make all of that literally, because otherwise it'd be a film. And so this script specifically incites me as an artist and as a director, because you have to get really creative. And so, I think the language only heightens the theatricality of the act of having to understand one character's experience in English and then another character's experience in Spanish, and then seeing them try to connect or not connect is something that we can only, I think, experience inside a theater sitting next to other people. And it's really exciting. And so that's where these two beautiful souls come into play, because they were with me and said yes to coming to Aspen. And we got to experience the play together and had talkbacks. We had the super titles on stage, and it was really thrilling for me. And you two can join in of people got it. They really did. And we even had native speakers come, and we had a talkback with them and hear their experience of the play. And so that was a really, really important experience in sort of the pre-development, the pre-production of this production.
That's great.
So I feel like we got to cheat a little bit, and luckily Kate and Emma are here with me again.
We're thrilled. We reached out so quickly to all three of you.
Yeah.
Let me ask this of all three of you, and start with Kate or Emma, whichever one. What is Espejos about to you?
Oh, I mean, I think I don't know. I feel like Emma and I would have probably different answers because
that's the point. Everyone should have, right? This is the joy of this.
We should say it at the same time, Kate.
Oh yeah, okay. That'll be great on Zoom, especially. Really good on Zoom. 1, 2, 3. Trauma.
Two women.
Let's say it in Spanish, Emma.
I mean, legit. I think for the place I'm coming from, I think this may be shared. Emma, you let me know what you think. But what it feels like it's about for my character is trauma. What about you, Emma?
Well, my pitch every time I want to get my friends here, it's like if White Lotus went to Mexico, like that's what I pitch. Or like if The Tempest was told through Caliban and Ariel and they were like one character. Like there's a lot.
Emma, I love that.
Yeah, I'm like,
I love that.
Get people on the seats. Like it's very, for me, that's Espejos. And I want to go back to something that you said, Melia, that it's so important to me, you said you don't necessarily need to know how to speak Spanish or English, because I mean, my heart and my brain is always connected precisely to theater, not because of where I'm from, but because we are, these creatures that believe in like humanity in every single language. So that's what, if Kate and I do a good job, someone who, that they will learn that this is a story about two young female identified people and in two different parts of sharing the same space and dealing with their trauma in very different ways. And that is universal. And I think, I remember I was telling Chandelier and LJ, I was once in Tokyo watching.
And let's say those are the amazing stage managers who,
yes,
who kind of hold this production. Stage managers really, right, they hold our work together. They're really...
Melia, Chandelier runs lines with me, and it's like the most beautiful like connection. Because she's learning Spanish while she's like lines, and then she's saying these words in Spanish, but not necessarily knowing. Like it's just the play.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. But I just want to share briefly that
yes.
that experience of attending a play that's so well. Like the nuance of these actors, like the commitment of every choice they do as an audience it's that's the most important thing. That has nothing to do with language. And I think that that precisely what Melissa said. We have the music, we have all these, the team, the music, the projections, the Kate, that's the most amazing actor here in at Hartford Stage. I mean, buy your tickets, people.
I heard a quote the other day that I thought really kind of boils down the play to this really beautiful kernel, and it's, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. And I think that from both of the characters in the play and what they're bringing to the table and this ride that we go on with them is really in that sentiment.
And Melissa, how would you finish that sentence? Espejos is about
healing and what that needs. So, because healing can take so many forms, and it can be getting wasted and finally having fun, because you haven't allowed yourself to have fun, or finally not numbing yourself, and feeling things, like there's so many different ways that healing can happen, and we see that in these two beautiful stories.
So, and we'll talk a little bit about the story too, to give people a sense. Let me sort of hear from each of you about your characters. And I would say part of what interests me is that the play takes place in a gorgeous resort in Cancun, no? And it's a play that really examines, I think, what an environment does to a person and how a person impacts their environment. And I don't mean in a ecological sense, but really in a human sense of how we're impacted by where we are. So I wonder if you could each speak a little bit about who your character is and how they relate to the physical space of the play.
You hit it, Emma. No, you, and then I'll go.
I'll start.
Now you know how it is in rehearsal.
Yeah. It's really clearly a very difficult group to work with.
Adriana, which is my character's name, we decided she's a Virgo and a workaholic, okay?
Okay, I fit both of those. I'm right with you.
Yeah. So she works at this resort, and she was born in Chetumal, Chetumal, for those who want to research before coming to the play. That could be exciting because we're going to have a lot of reference of the back and forth. My character goes back and forth from Chetumal to Cancun, which is, Chetumal is where she was born, and she I don't know how far can we go in the story, but
she leaves home to go work.
On the bus, right? Or the car, buses, cars, yeah. How long a ride is it for her to go to work?
Hours. Yep. 6 hours without traffic. We're going to get so much information. We're going to get information of how you drive from Chetumal to Cancun, how you get on the bus, how you go, you drive on a rental car that's really expensive, like various different rides, and what you see along the highway. very
Also,
detailed.
our projection designer, Lisa Renkel, literally took a little pin on Google Earth and filmed what the drive actually looks like for that scene. So people will actually literally go on the road with you virtually.
Yeah, we have to hear more about the projections after this. Yeah, let's do it's going to be amazing. But go ahead, Emma. So
Adriana, the play starts when Adriana is already in this, she's been working in this resort for 8 years. She's really good at what she does. She's the ama de llaves of the resort, and she has a lot of responsibility, and she takes care of her team. She's an OCD, very functional, very strict woman, young woman.
And the ama de llaves, I would translate as the head housekeeper, as the head of housekeeping, as right.
Housekeeping, yes.
Oh, but I love the literal translation.
The literal is beautiful. So go ahead,
beautiful.
Emma. Give us the literal.
The master of the keys. That's
the keys.
Basically the literal translation. And there's a moment in which they meet. My character meets Kate's character, Sarah. And like Melissa just said, that the play touches upon where, like, the world through Adriana's eyes. She's used to deal with tourists, usually white people. They're all awash to her. I mean, she has a lot of things to learn about, like she sees her world in a very narrow way too,
As we all do, right? I mean, that's part of what speaks to me so much about the play is how it reflects all of how we all go through with blinders. Like Melissa, your quote, it's so good. Yeah. So she gets certain news. You know how that goes when we try to keep our secrets inside of us and just push things down, and we think that that nothing's going to spill out. But then there's like one news that happens. She receives this one piece of information from her life, and something cracks. So we're going to watch her try to clean her way out of this mess. Beautifully said. It reminds me of a quote of Pablo Neruda's. I'll do it in English, but it's everyone has 3 lives: the public, the private, and the secret.
Yeah, that's right.
So, all right, Kate, tell us, what are you doing in Cancun, and how does it feel? How does this place impact you?
Yes. So my character, Sarah, who is from Vancouver, which is not an easy accent, by the way. Like, it's so subtle that I have to really think about it. Yeah. It's not like you can just like put on a British accent. I have to think about specific words. But anyway, so she's from Vancouver. She's in Cancun for her sister's wedding, which
a big destination, fancy wedding.
Yes, and having recently gotten married myself, I can tell you that is a very charged experience. You have a lot of family there that you haven't seen in many years. There may be family tensions. And I've never really done a destination. Actually, no. My husband's best friend got married at a destination wedding. It wasn't Cancun, but it's taking your family sort of out of the context of home and then putting them in this sort of paradisical environment. I think in some ways highlights the dysfunction at times, right? You've got this really beautiful environment right up against some pretty majorly unresolved issues. And so, Sarah is, there's a lot coming up for her while she's in this resort. Melissa made a really beautiful point about Sarah's sort of archetypal character. She is a guest, this is Adriana's place of work, and also in some ways, Mexico as like it's home, right? And I am very much out of my element, not at home, a guest. there in the play for Sarah, an event occurs, which really it is I think I don't use this word lightly, triggers something for her. She is triggered, and the actions that occur after that have consequences for both of our ladies. Yeah, how's that?
It's great, right? Yeah, go ahead, Emma.
What I thought is it's so incredible about. I don't like this word, but it always comes juxtaposition. Anyway, but the fact that in Sarah's world she's away from home with her family so close.
Yeah.
In my character is away from home, family is very distant, but isn't. So the fact that that the audience is going to start the play with a Spanish-speaking character in a Mexican setting could be, we would encourage to keep exploring what that means. It doesn't really mean that you're at home. For my character, she starts far away from home, hiding and masking. So that's a distance. That's another kind of border she puts for herself, you know?
It's great. And it sort of speaks to how we're all sometimes a foreigner, and we have to identify when we're the guest. I love that language.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, sorry, Kate.
No, I was just going to say, I really was just going to pay you a compliment and say it was a big help for me to hear that in the room, like you are a guest. Yeah. Please.
Oh, cool. Well, good. Well, and for anyone that's been to Cancun and knows about that specific spot, it is really a third character in the play when we think about what the microcosm of Cancun is, because it is almost like a foreign part of Mexico, because it's not Mexico, at least the resort part. It's where native Mexicans that live there are migrants in their own country. And so Emma's point about, being far from home, but also, it's not her place where she has her people and where she can go, and she's not there to vacation.
It's not.
So
it's not a place for Mexicans, except for Mexicans to work, right? I mean, so it's. I mean, I lived in Mexico City my entire childhood. I never ever went to Cancun. That wasn't where you went. So it's where Americans go.
Yeah. And the fun fact about Christine Quintana, our illustrious writer, is her dad is Mexican and her mom is from Canada. So she's this beautiful composite of both characters. And this play came from a visit to her dad because he worked at a resort in Cancun. And the experience of, going through the service entrance where, the workers go versus the front where the guests go was very impactful on her. And she actually, she spent a few nights there because he won a raffle, like at work, for, family to come spend.
Right.
And so that is what sparks the play.
You mentioned the projections a bit. So how do the projections sort of relate to this vision of Cancun and the play and the atmosphere?
Yeah. So the really fun part of this play, as I was saying before, is we go everywhere. We're in Cancun, we're in Chetumal, and then we're in a memory of Sarah's in Vancouver, and then and there's water, and how do you make water happen? Kate swims on stage quite a bit, but there's no water in sight. So it's really fun. Projections do help us with that. We have some fancy floor projections that Lisa's giving us. And we also have supertitles. And so instead of it being just, a solitary read when you need to, you need a little help understanding what's going on. What's really fun is the projections are made into the art, or the it brings the it lifts
all
the
together.
So,
yes.
Yeah, and so here's a fun example. There's a scene where Emma's character Adriana wakes up and in a hotel room, and she's like, what time is it? Because she thinks she's late for work. And I mentioned to Lisa that I want the supertitles to look like an alarm clock, and she's like, I can make them shake so that it wakes her up. And I was like,
awesome.
yeah, that's great. And so we're just peppering in really fun moments so that the projections are part of the action.
Yes, it's really great. What is surprise? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Using the set, so cool.
Yeah, the set is really cool. We are going to make sure that on our webpage, along with this, side by side, you'll be able to see pictures of the set, and I think we should include some pages from the script so you can see the beauty of how it's laid out, as well as the beauty of the design. There's nothing like
Mariana Sanchez, our set designer. She's also from Mexico, is very familiar with Cancun and Acapulco and Cabo, and she and I both did a lot of research, but and she also has an architectural background, and I've been a fan of hers for a long time. I've tried to hire her in the past, and our schedules finally aligned for this play, and she's been a real delight to work with.
Wonderful design team, all women. Our next two shows, both on Espejos Clean and on Art of Burning, it's all female teams. So it's a little nod to the changing face of the American theater, perhaps. But what has surprised any one of you about working? What didn't you expect to feel or see or say or experience through this process? That you feel at this moment. Yeah.
Headaches.
Okay, good. Can we edit that out? No, I mean, it's totally fair. Let us say this play is told entirely through monologues, some scenes, but basically these two women, right, are speaking.
They don't shut up.
They don't shut up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of words to absorb.
It's poetry too. It's like very poetic.
It's athletic.
Yeah, for the brain and the body. I'm gonna have you'll find out if you come to see the show, but I'm gonna have like really great abs by the end of this run. Because I'm doing some core work.
Because it's part of your staging?
It's part of our, you'll see, Melia. Yeah.
I just want the audience to get a sense of what,
Yes, it's part of the stage.
It's not just an actor working out. It's an actor working out as part of her role.
No, yes. It's we're some of the images that we're crafting require our bodies to be expressive in a way that is, as Melissa said, theatrical. And
it's going to be so beautiful, you guys. I cannot wait. But so surprises, yes.
I think something that I'm recognizing as a surprise is the
how much
amount. What?
Sorry, no.
What'd you say? I will never waste an Emma joke. What'd you say?
No, I said how much you love me.
Oh, that was never going to be a surprise.
Okay, keep going.
I knew from day one. Day one. So I had a teacher who has encouraged this in me, and it comes to me now in memory, implicating your character. I am working really hard, I think, to implicate my character, to push her farther into the realm of being a human who makes mistakes. We really have to see someone who makes a mistake, and I think I've been surprised at how I think as a human feel tentative and fussy about putting my heart and soul and body in a position where I'm wrong,
where you're fallible too.
Yes. And so that's been actually a very exciting surprise. Yeah. What about you, Emma?
I think I said it. I
Me?
No, I mean, I've never.
She said headaches.
Oh, just headaches. Okay, yeah.
Headaches. I mean, it's more complicated than I thought, for sure. Like Spanish being my first language, it doesn't give me any, advantage. It's because in Spanish there's a lot of different ways to say one thing,
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And how much memorizing of roles have you done in Spanish, Emma?
This
How
is my
many?
first one.
So that's huge. The
I didn't know
challenge,
that.
I mean, my brain would explode on that. I directed a play in Cuba hace muchos años, like in 89, and directing in Spanish, just with no one speaking English, was so hard for me.
It is very hard. It is very hard. That was a surprise. I was like,
Really interesting.
yeah, these lines are gonna just stick because this is my language, and it's not. I mean, it's like it's and it's very detailed, and there's also a bunch of words that are only said in that region that are new.
Yes.
I grew up in the northwest of Mexico, so it's like there's a lot of cartwheels that I still have
Oh
to
my
do.
God, muchachita, pobrecita, that's a lot. I really
No,
hadn't thought through
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
norm. That is an added challenge. Yeah.
yeah, but it's great. I mean, it's just like I can't believe
Oh, it's
that.
going to be amazing, but
Yeah.
it is Herculean. I mean, you're both really working out. It is a triathlon of sorts.
Yeah.
And Melissa, ¿qué te sorprende a ti? What has surprised you?
Everything. No, but
Fair.
I've been staring at this play for a year and
Right.
crafting it in my brain and working with my designers for months before these two beautiful ladies showed up to rehearsal. And so, what's not a surprise actually, but I'm grateful, is that, you know, you can prepare as much as you can, but when you're in the room, you just have to be present and make the thing that's there, that and follow the impulses of what your actors and the set. I mean, we have a playground, which is
Yeah.
what I wanted, and Mariana has given us, because she's given a wonderful landscape for the design team for lights and projections specifically to paint on, and then for these actors to live together, because the play is really cinematic on its feet, where there's like split screens, there's a lot of simultaneity, and I'm surprised by how well it works.
That's lovely.
I mean, I was hoping
love that.
Yeah, I was hoping it would, but it really
I know,
worked.
but I love that. You go and you go, okay, we have all these pieces. And to me, it's felt, and one of the reasons I'm so excited to present this play and this production with the three of you and this amazing design team, is how much I think it celebrates theater making.
Yeah.
We are at a moment, right, where I think for those of you watching this, you know, what brings you into the theater? I mean, I'm going to hire Emma to be our professional pitch woman. So
You like that one.
that was such a great plug. But I think we have to do plays at this moment that you can only experience in the way that a theater can communicate the material. And this, you mentioned, Melissa, you mentioned operas and films, and each of these things can be celebrated as a form. And I think this play celebrates theater. And your approach, your production approach, really, I think is going to make the audience feel grateful to be in this physical space with Kate and Emma live, and the projections and the music of the play and the creation, the mix of lights and sound on it. I think you really.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say so. I get to say so.
Well,
You get to worry, and I get to assume.
Oh, thank you. But and the other thing I wanted to say about surprise is, you know, I've had this script for a very long time. I've been intimidated as hell by the fact that it's in Spanish, because it's not my first language, and it is a lifelong struggle I've dealt with that so many other Latinos in this country can relate to. I'm like, if I do this play, then I'll speak it. No, it's not going to happen. But, you know, I a love letter to my family, that I'm in my home state and my family can finally come see my work, which they haven't been able to see in a while because of COVID. But also, I've never been able to direct something in Spanish, and they're going to come and they're going to understand it, and they're going to, because they all speak Spanish, and and that to me is a gift, and where they can see themselves, they can hear themselves, and knowing that I'm trying, because
Yeah,
I want
love
everyone
that.
to feel welcome.
Well,
So,
and when you put it that way too, I think our hope as well is that um, our usual subscribers, those of you who I hope are watching, feel seen by the play, and that new folks also come into our building and feel the comfort of familiar sounds, right? So
yeah.
I don't presume that our Spanish speaking audience members don't understand the English. I think primarily people understand both. Spanish speakers in our region, by and large, also understand English. But the joy, the comfort of being surrounded by a language that you grew up with as well, I just find that really a cause for celebration.
Yeah. Here's another pitch, Melia.
Gracias, Emma.
Melia, another plug.
Yeah.
So if you come to see our show in the middle of the winter,
Yeah.
you can go to Cancun. We're gonna have a lot of ski days. There's gonna be warm storms, and then we're gonna have parties and music that you only hear in the summer. Hello. Buy tickets.
And I think the bar has to serve margaritas and piñatas, right?
Yeah,
exactly. We go all out. Little umbrellas.
Yes.
Should we'll hand out, instead of Purell, we'll start putting, sunscreen in the, to have the fully immersive. It'd be like Sensurround. You could smell the sunscreen in the audience.
That's such a good idea. So wait, let's do
really
it.
good idea.
Oh.
In the dead of winter. I love it.
How is it being at Hartford Stage? How is it being in Hartford? Have any of you been here before? Melissa, you grew up in Connecticut, but you hadn't spent time in Hartford.
Stanford. I'm like, it was either, back and forth between New York City and Stanford. Yeah, that was it.
So how's it been to be here? Yeah.
I'm friends with Robert Eli Thompson, who I know has been on your stage before and whose folks live in an area. And so it was in town for the holidays. Sorry, little bug.
And I want to do a plug that his parents have been board members, long subscribers. They're really part of the Hartford Stage family. Yeah.
So he took me around. We went to West Hartford the other night. We went to a really awesome, I would love to experience a little more of going out. And I hear there's some hikes in the neighborhood that are really nice. I hear there's a great martini down the street at Salute. So
once you open, we got to get you open.
You don't have space. But yeah, that has been very, very lovely. And being so close to rehearsal and to the stage is wonderful. Oh, one thing I also want to say, I brought in baked goods one day for the cast because they're great for some other reasons. But I brought in baked goods. I went to a bakery. I just looked up great bakeries in Hartford. The bakery I went to was entirely Spanish speaking. I was a fish out of water there. I was not. So, it was a great experience for me to have. And it was great to see that, yes, this play,
right. We're almost 50% Spanish speaking or 50% Latine, do you know, in this area. Kate, do you remember the name of the bakery?
I don't. I'll look it up.
I know the one too. I know because we've done stuff with them before.
Yeah,
they were part of our gala.
Oh,
but
really? I'll look it up and I'll get it.
We'll make sure we'll put some info on our webpage for them as well, because that's great. Have you acted on a thrust stage before, Emma or Kate? And how is it different from a proscenium? How does it feel to be on a thrust?
I love it because of it's not a movie, we all knew it wasn't a movie to begin with, but now we really know because here I am, my back's to you. I have to energetically give this to people. It'll be interesting in a bikini, but
yes, we should mention that Kate is also in a bikini for part of this.
Most of it.
Some of it, it'll be fine. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
absolute.
exactly. I was
Ready to
just
go.
thinking that, Emma. Yep.
But no, I love it. I love feeling, I love remembering the magic of our craft is that for 2 hours time, people choose to play pretend. People, real
Yes.
people right there. No, I'm
Yes,
not.
I love that.
No, I'm not. No, we're not in Cancun, but they're there. I think that is just magic, you know? I mean, it's the craziest thing we do as human beings, really. There's no purpose other than for the soul. It's so good.
Well, transformation, right?
Yeah,
It's sort of
yes.
spiritual transformation. Sorry, Emma, were you going to say something? Did I cut
No,
you
that
off?
I've never done a thing
Oh.
like ever in my life, and I think it's such a challenge to have to start the play. I don't want to lean in the political aspect of what it means to open a play with a Spanish-speaking lead on the spotlight, telling her story for the majority of the play. And instead of assuming, preconceptions of what that means in the first 3 minutes for non-Spanish speakers, I will celebrate the fact that this is happening because I can't believe it, like in Hartford, Connecticut, that my mom like my mom had to Google where the hell is that? Because my mom, like everybody lives in Mexico, my entire family's in Mexico. I'm the only lunatic who said yes to this circus life. So can you imagine like explaining to them that I came all the way to the east side of this country to do a play about Mexico? It's like
Are they going to come, Emma? ¿Vienen tus papás?
No sé porque a ellos les da frío. Ellos todo les da frío.
Eso lo entiendo,
Les da mucho frío.
right? It's too cold for them to leave Mexico this time of year.
But it's like what it means. Like
we're gonna have to bring you back during a warmer.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's so powerful to set. I mean, it's so powerful for anybody to feel, to celebrate that way, to be on the spotlight and just commit and kind of invite an audience to stay with you, to stay with you because they will be surprised if they overcome that initial distance.
It's wonderful. So there is the taking the leap with us, which is what theater really should make us want to leap into the world with the actors. And I do think this theater, this production, this design, I think people will be jumping to join you. I really do.
This play feels very Shakespearean.
I was going to say, when you talked about all the locations, and with Shakespeare, it's the same thing. You don't know what every word means, and you go on the ride, and the music of it, and the performance of it, and the visual tells you, fills you, the rhythm changes you. So I love that.
That's where I started as a director, and I started on a thrust, and in the directed dress, we have that in this play. Where and it's active, where we're experiencing and making discoveries on the line in real time. And exactly. I love that, Emma, you mentioned the Tempest. I was like, yes. So
Ariel and Caliban. That's great. Yeah.
Full circle moment here in Connecticut with this play, and I love a bomb. Give me a bomb.
We love a bomb. Well, thank you so much, you three. I know you've already had a long rehearsal day, so I really appreciate you taking time to talk to our subscribers, to our audience, to our neighborhood about this amazing play. So you have to join us at the theater for Espejos Clean. It runs from January 12th to February 5th. Tickets, subscriptions, gift certificates are all available for purchase online or through our box office. We'd love to have you join us. It's really going to be very special. I mean, just listen to Emma, right? I mean, don't you just want to hear more from Kate and Emma?
Hey.
No, I do.
Come on.
Absolutely. Melissa, gracias. Kate, Emma.
Muchas gracias.
I'm so grateful to the three of you. So excited about this production. I'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Hartford Stage.
Yeah, see you at the theater, everybody.